This is the 8th video. We're going to now talk about arpeggios in this concept. Now, the thing that you've probably figured out is that once we turned this into minor, all bets were off in terms of a congruency on the shapes. The scale shapes were, of course, normal, but the chord shapes started to get squirrely. If you take these and turn them into, say, major 7, dominant 7, minor 7, half diminished 7, etc., 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 you're going to find a whole new area to explore with these, right? So I want to talk about the arpeggios of this, but it's not in the way you normally see arpeggios with these long type arpeggios. This is just in the pieces of these chords. Again, it's for memorization. So if we're going to have this E-shaped chord, remember I've broken into two pieces, the bottom 4 strings, top 4 strings. So here is our arpeggio. All arpeggios are going to go root, 3rd, 5th, root. We're not going to do them any other way. Right? So it is root, 3rd, 5th, root, root, 3rd, 5th, root. Right? Now, we're going to do these inside these chord shapes. Root, 3rd, 5th, root. I don't expect you to play that shape very often, but you need to know that it lives there. That was the D shape. Here's the C shape. This is relatively easy. Root, 3rd, 5th, root. 4 middle strings. Here's the A shape. Root, 3rd, 5th, root. G shape. Root, 3rd, 5th, root. Root, 3rd, 5th, root. You can see root, 3rd, 5th, root, that this is a different physical movement shape, just like the D shape there and this G shape here physically look different than the others. Remember, this has all been root, 3rd, 5th, root. Nothing has ever changed. I'm going to now do them in minor, just for fun. Same kind of business. Same thing. Same thing. What we did was we took not the actual shape, but the gist of the shape, the fact that in this area we have these chord tones. Now let me show you what you can break it down to. Instead of thinking root, 3rd, 5th, root, you can just think root, 5th, root, 5th, root, 5th, root, 5th, and find all the roots and fifths of whatever you're looking for. See how I'm finding those? That is the framework, if you will, for learning your instrument, right? I could take those and flatten the 5, and now I can find diminished chords. I could take those and hang on them the major 3rd, major triads, minor 3rd, now I have the minor triads, 3rd and 7th, now I have the major 7s. Right? I'm using the root and 5th framework that we had figured out using this cage chord pieces, if you will, and now we can add anything to it. We can make them diminished, we can make them anything. That is the reason why you want to memorize the cage chords in these broken down pieces. Yes, I know we like to play scales, maybe 3 notes per string, and play up and down the neck as fast as humanly possible, etc. But that will do very little for the memorization of your instrument. Breaking things into these little pieces works. I'm going to take one last thing in the next video, and that will be the end of our exploration.